Some boards make chaos seem graceful. Disputes arise and stay right-sized. A speed bump, not a sinkhole. Capital projects, where the biggest controversy is which elevator is out of service this week. Board transitions that feel like a relay handoff instead of an excavation project. Owner conflicts that cool before they become a movement. You've seen a car parked on a San Francisco hill, steep enough that the front wheels are cranked hard into the curb, the nose pointing skyward, and you find yourself wondering how it stays there. It does, because someone understood the physics before they parked. That's what a well-governed board looks like from the outside. Not effortless, understood. It's too easy to say the people made the difference. They were great neighbors and volunteer leaders, no question. But that sells short what they actually did. They didn't just serve well, they built something, a legacy that outlasted them, one that new leaders will inherit and will evolve. A board president gets a call at 3:30 on a Friday afternoon. The property manager. A cooling tower pump is failing. Not in an emergency yet, but close enough. The backup pump is compensating, but it's doing the work of two. The part isn't available locally. 2 business days minimum to deliver. A heat wave is in the 10-day forecast, and the repair will cost over $25,000. In a lot of buildings, that's a big turd in the punch bowl. There's no question the repair gets approved. Nobody's going to let the building lose air conditioning in August. But the path to approval is painful. The board president calls 2 other board members. Someone wants a second opinion. Someone else wants to know why this wasn't caught earlier. The property manager is fielding questions she can't fully answer because the reserve study tracks the cooling tower as a system, not showing its individual components. The repair is authorized begrudgingly, under pressure, with incomplete information, and with at least one board member who voted yes while still not entirely sure what they approved. Another board handled it differently. The property manager pulled up an asset inventory during the call. The cooling tower was on it. Age, condition, expected life, all current. The reserve study had been updated 14 months earlier. The failing component was already flagged as approaching end of life. The funding was allocated. Drawing from the reserves to cover it was not only permissible, it was exactly why the reserves exist. The board president authorized the repair and asked the property manager to send the details to the board for formal vote by email. The part was ordered immediately. 3 board members responded within the hour. Everyone was home for dinner before sundown. The property manager knew what she was walking into before the call. The board knew what they were deciding before they voted. The repair happened on the building's terms, not the failures. That's not a story about an exceptional board president or an unusually prepared property manager. That's a story about what happens when the infrastructure exists before the problem arrives. The foundation that made it possible isn't complicated to describe. It's 5 systems. And like most things that work, what matters isn't any one of them. It's what happens when all 5 function in a coordinated way. The first is governance, the decision-making structure that clarifies the board's role and management's authority. The primary tool is the resolution, the formal mechanism by which a board sets policy, delegates responsibility, and creates the rules that everything downstream depends on. Not a binder of bylaws nobody reads, a living framework everyone in the building can rely on. Then there's operations. SOPs, standard operating procedures, translate board policy into daily practice. Rules enforcement, work order tracking, correspondence, escalation policies. Without them, every situation becomes a judgment call. With them, consistency is the default. Next is planning, the system that converts surprises into known quantities. An asset inventory, a reserve study updated on a defined schedule. A capital plan shows a clear picture of the next 5 years for that impromptu call on Friday at 3:30. Planning also includes construction and project management for capital projects. Expecting a property manager to run a major project on top of their full operational load makes everyone miserable and sets no one up for success. All that's done by people, the staff, volunteers, and property managers who are almost always doing more than the calendar or budget allows. This system gives your people the language, process, backing, and support they need so that staff member who answers the call can handle a difficult conversation with confidence instead of tap dancing. Fix the governance structure and you free up the bandwidth the people system needs to actually function. Finally, communications. Management drafts them and distributes. SOP-specific correspondence can be templated. Non-SOP communications should be reviewed by a resident, preferably a standing volunteer. Otherwise, every message is a liability. Just remember, no association ever has enough communications, and they're never right. The goal is a system that keeps getting better. 5 systems, nothing exotic, all buildable. The question isn't whether your board can have them, it's whether anyone has decided to build them yet. People move, boards turn over, managers get promoted. The treasurer who memorized the reserve study, the board president who knew every vendor by name, the volunteer who was always there. They all eventually leave. That's healthy. Everything except artifacts goes with them. Vendor relationships, unwritten understandings of decisions with long tails. The next board inherits a building, a budget, and a stack of documents. A board with 5 coordinated systems is better off. Not because the people weren't important, they were, but because they put what they knew into the structure instead of keeping it in their heads. Resolutions don't expire when the board president leaves. SOPs for how to handle a noise complaint at 11 p.m. don't walk out the door with the property manager who's promoted. Asset inventories, reserve studies, capital plans, they stay, get updated, get handed to the next person with enough context to understand them. That's the legacy. Not a plaque in the lobby, not thanks at the annual meeting, a building that runs better because they were there and keeps running better long after they're gone. Boards that make it look easy aren't operating in an alternate reality. They have the same aging infrastructure, the same budget constraints, the same mix of engaged and disengaged owners, the same volunteers who signed up to help their neighbors and discovered the job was bigger than they expected. What they have is structure in addition to talent. Governance that produces decisions instead of debates. Operations that execute consistently instead of improvising constantly. Planning that makes Friday afternoon calls manageable instead of miserable. People who know what to do and have what they need to do it. Communications that keep the building informed instead of guessing. 5 systems. Sanded and varnished where it matters. Working together instead of splintering. That's what the car on the hill looks like from the inside. Not effortless, understood. The legacy those boards leave isn't a perfect building. It's a functional one, with bones strong enough that the next group of volunteers can inherit it, improve it, and eventually hand it to someone else in better shape than they found it. That's what thriving looks like. Not a destination, a standard that keeps moving forward. If you want to see how your board scores across these 5 systems, there's a free diagnostic on my website at trustreputationmatters.com. A link is also in this video description. If this way of thinking about board matters resonates, subscribe. And if you know a board member dealing with something like this, point them to me or me to them. Sometimes the most useful thing you can do is hand someone the right resource at the right moment.